Carmen San Diego, if you can find it.
Maybe this needs to be turned down.
We're up, folks. I'm so cold. Hey, notifications, get out of my life. Hey guys, I'm
so cold.
Live with Andrea Schmaltz. That's not right. Andrea Costrino.
Sure sounds right.
It was right for most of your life. And then you got married. All right, so we're gonna do coffee talk with Andrea. We're gonna talk about happiness in your business.
Rhode Island.
Neither
a road nor an island. Discuss. Yes.
We both have worked for other people. We've both worked independently. We've both worked with partners. We both have done all the things. We both are mothers. We're both all the things. So we both had experience. We're both a little off, obviously.
There's that too.
But we both have had experiences where we hated our life at work, and we woke up miserable, and we woke up thinking, like, what would be the worst that would happen if I just like called in sick today, or like never showed up again, or or like, would my family starve if I like how do I get out of this? And then we've also been to the promised land where it's like, this is awesome. This doesn't feel like work that much. Like, I'm doing things, but it doesn't feel like hard, right? It feels fun. So, who is this? Is this Maria? Oh, Marla. Hey, Marla. Oh, yes. Something more. Perfect. All right, so you guys can comment in here, and I promise I will get to the comments. Can we pull up comments on yours so we can respond to them as they go? But we're going to talk about how to find, like, what happens when you find happiness in your business and kind of how to find it. So, first thing is, I was in, there it is, yeah, perfect. I was in corporate America. I was in real estate, commercial real estate, and I hated it. I was also in banking, and I hated it.
I can't even imagine you in banking.
Could you imagine? No. The only person I can imagine...
see you on the verge of getting fired, like, every second for inappropriateness. Basically. I can't imagine you in a quiet situation like that.
It's like, can we talk now? So Jill Smith is the only one, because Jill Smith brought me into the world, and I was like, dang it, Jill. But I had so much fun with Jill, so I'm glad she did. But she watched it happen. She watched the dumpster fire of my life go down every day at work, 9 to 5, more like 9 to 9. So that sucked. That wasn't me. But like, we drop into opportunities because we think we have to, or it's like the best thing on the table. And at certain points in our life, we don't think about creating something for ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, I think I view it sometimes the way that I've looked back is that each one of those things were a stepping stone or a building block to give me more experience in a certain situation that now has helped me to get where I am.
Yeah, and more tools to like do what you need to do in this current job, this current life.
Because without some of those things, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Agreed, 100%. Like, I didn't enjoy my life in corporate America in being employed in general, but I took so many tools and abilities away from that, and I feel like that was incredibly helpful and a lot of times responsible for some of the successes that I've seen. So the risk for me of going out on my own was disgusting. It made my stomach dry. That was the worst plan ever. I was like, I'll never be an entrepreneur. That I know. I don't know where I'm going to work, but like I want to own my own. That's for sure. And then, joke's on you. I ended up getting fired. So that pushed me into entrepreneurial activities. Yeah. But without that, I don't think I would have gone. And thank God I did get fired, because I wouldn't have gone. But for you, what was the thing for you that pushed you into, and not to say that entrepreneurial has to be the way for you, like some people just want to be an employee, and that's totally cool, but like we're going to talk about
they love doing those, like what they're doing. Maybe they aren't their own boss, but they don't want that responsibility, they like that it's a 9 to 5 and it's done, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that there's a lot of people that are super happy not being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, because there's a lot to carry.
Yeah, for sure. But not even that. Like, they found joy in whatever it is that they're doing. And it didn't need to be something they created on their own. They're happy to be where they are.
Some people don't need more. They're like, they really enjoy and they're fulfilled with what they do as an employee. So it's just structure.
Thinking about that the other day.
Yeah. So what in terms of finding your joy, all right, having things that you didn't enjoy versus having things that you're coming into this like blossoming era of your business and Andrea she's a photographer who does luxury female portraits and lots of other things, but like describe your wheelhouse so that I don't mess it up. Like,
no, you did it right.
Okay, so
it's an experience for women
It really is, though.
To get beautiful portraits of themselves and to feel empowered and to feel fierce, but to also feel super feminine and beautiful.
Yeah, and you're doing it so well. And I'm not seeing anybody do it like you do.
You're nice. You're my friend.
But I'm always unbiased, and I check you, and I tell you what's real and ugly, even when it's ugly.
Sure.
Okay, so what is the difference for you in terms of like not being happy, not enjoying or loving the circumstances that you were in with your job or in entrepreneurial activities, whatever, versus how you're feeling now? Like, describe some of the things that are different from then versus now.
Well, there's there's a couple of transfers that have happened actually. One would be going from teaching, which is what I was doing. I was a kindergarten and first grade teacher, and I loved teaching.
Yeah.
I honestly did. And it had nothing to do with photography in the beginning of why I wanted to jump. I mean, I didn't even pick up my camera until I was halfway through my teaching career anyways. I had no previous experience with photography, and I had never shot a digital DSLR, like nothing. So it wasn't like that was pulling me in any weird way at the time. I loved teaching and being with children. However, when I had my own children, I feel like that's when I started to think about how I wanted to take pictures of them. And so it was this organic evolution of like, now I can shoot my own children. Now other people are asking me, now this is becoming a business. Now I'm a weekend warrior.
Yeah.
Oh God, now I need to make a decision between one or the other because I can't keep both afloat because I'm exhausted because I'm working 80 hours and this isn't okay. So I think I had an easy transition with the birth of my second daughter. I just decided not to go back.
Yeah.
So I had like a good break that allowed me to make that decision to just jump full-fledged into photography.
Okay, so
however, though, it was not at a place where I probably should have left by any means.
That's what I want to talk about.
I was in a secure place.
You were
teaching.
Teaching is in general a secure place in a sense where there's tenure involved. You have retirement sometimes. You're kind of like locked in the school system. They know you. They love you. You're not like, unless you do something insane, you're not going to get fired, right?
Yeah. And I had a great rapport with everybody there, and I loved my job, and I loved everyone that I worked with. There was literally no reason for me to jump other than this burning desire of like...
Oh. Has anybody had a gut feeling? Have you had a gut feeling like that asked you to move and you were like, why though? This is comfortable over here. And then that gut... Did it grow? Okay. It started to swell.
It's festering.
It's getting bigger. It's hurting. It's into my sides. I don't like it. So, okay, so I feel like that's one of the biggest things that pushes people toward happiness if they're willing to listen, is that gut check, that feeling, that what if, that should I look into it, even
there were so many reasons why I shouldn't have.
Yes.
So many reasons.
Yes. All the reasons were why I didn't want to be an entrepreneur and own my own business. All the reasons. And
I knew nothing about business. Nothing. I was a kindergarten teacher. I only knew how to interact with children and to get children, because it started with, children photography. Mm-hmm. It was me getting kids to smile and be natural in front of the camera, and that was my gift, and then I just so happened to know how to work my camera.
Well, nobody really knows how to run a business until you actually do it, because they don't teach you that in business school. I'm a finance grad. They don't teach you that.
Yeah.
There's no, that I know of so far still, in any collegiate setting, there's no class that's like, here's how you open and start your own business.
Shouldn't they though?
They really should. They really freaking should. But so, like I'm saying, I had...
Write that down. New list.
Excuse me.
Things we're gonna do.
Let's shut down the college system altogether, shall we? It's broken. So, like, finance, marketing, nobody told me how to do any of it, so you, like, end up taking what you know and going and trying. But as far as the gut feeling, I feel like... And now, you've done all these different types of photography, but now you're doing this with women, like luxury portraits.
Well, so for that transition, that was interesting, because in the very beginning of my career, when I just started learning photography, I had found like a mentor per se, like somebody online that I was really obsessed with, and she did women's portraits. Yeah. And I was attracted to it. I loved it. I learned so much from it, but there was a part of me that played small saying, okay, well, you jumped for children's photography, so why are you going to start doing women's portraits? Like, that's silly. That's not what you're known for. That's pretty scary. You already haven't even established this children's portrait line yet, so what are you going to do? Start offering women to? You're going to confuse people. And also, come on. Who are you? And also, I honestly didn't think there was a market for it in this area, because I was thinking very small of, like, who's going to do that? Mm-hmm. Who's going to actually do that around here? I've never seen anybody do that and take portraits of themselves.
Perfect.
Yeah, but then there's 9 years in between then, that thought, and now.
Yeah.
Of the final jumps. Took me a while.
So, could you imagine?
Took me a while to take that jump.
But we
just 9 years.
It's fine. It's like blink of an eye. But when we started chatting, it's like the other part of happiness that I wanted to jump to is that mentorship relationship, having somebody like speak life into your business, like go for positivity, like yes and you, and show you what's possible and believe in you so that you can borrow that belief until you experience it and own that belief for yourself. I feel like having, because I've been through a ton of different industries with people and I've seen a bunch of stuff, and when we started chatting I was so excited about your idea.
I know you were actually one of the reasons why I put my toe over the line and did it, is because I had you breathing life into that idea and telling me that it was possible.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is, like,
because I didn't think it would be around here,
right?
Just in general, but around here.
Meanwhile, I should turn the camera so you can look at her wall, but you should just go to her website instead to see it. But the point is that, like, following the gut feeling, number one, having people. Oh, there are hearts and people are talking. Sharon, Maria, Courtney. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hey. Andrew from Toronto, he's a DJ. He's going to light up the ones and twos for us in just a minute. It's going to be fine. Cat's on fire. No, not on fire, but like with a fire background, Andrew. Like mixing it up. Like, laser. Yeah, definitely lasers, disco balls, and fire. Can we do it? Andrew, come on. We can do it. So, Andrew's amazing. Okay, so the following the gut feeling, number one. Number two is having a community, at least one other person that you have direct contact with, like close contact with, you communicate with often, that can push you in a positive way towards your goals, that can encourage you, that can support you that way.
Almost bully you.
Almost force you to do stuff that you don't want to do.
Yeah, she sort of forced me. It's okay. I'm happy with it.
Listen,
I'm not bad.
I know what's best for her. So I don't care if you enjoy it or not. I'm going to make you happy.
Be like, well, I don't. No, you are.
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah. Oh, you were like, ew.
I'm going to throw up. You're like, that's fine. Get a bucket. We're going to be okay.
Literally her posture. This is exactly, I don't like it. I want to do it. That's what she did when I told her about what her pricing structure should be. And then she did, so baby steps, got incremental. And now, like, look at how relaxed her posture is. There's nothing about this.
I'm so happy. No puke bucket.
She really did threaten to puke, and I was like,
yeah.
I don't love it.
In the mouth.
But I'm okay with it. In the mouth, yeah. So finding that person and like following the gut check, because the feeling in your gut, that like it almost becomes like jealousy of other people doing what you wish you could or something. It like evolves into like this negative thing, when instead you could really just take it for what it is, and it's an inspiration. Like it's a whisper of inspiration, like, here, go do this, go try this was meant for you. I've never had it happen to me where I've had that feeling of that longing or that pull or that suggestion that I should be doing something where I tried it and it didn't work. I've never had that happen.
But I think that there are times where people will take a jump and it won't work per se, maybe in the way that they thought it was going to, and it may open up new doors. And I don't know, I was reading Brene Brown last night, so I'm super in that mind frame of like Rising Strong in her book, where it's like, yeah, you might be face down in the dirt. You might have taken the jump and it didn't work. You might have been vulnerable and had a moment where you were saying, I'm going to jump forward, and maybe you didn't land on your feet, but that doesn't mean you don't get back up and figure out, where did that go wrong, and now where do I pivot to?
Well,
instead of just I go back into teaching, right? Or like, oh, it didn't work. Okay, I'm going to just jump back to this thing. There were totally times through that 9 years where it was like, do I just go back? Do I just drop it all? Do I just forget this dream, forget that thing that I thought of 9 years ago? Do I just
that's what I mean by like, when I say
I've
got that feeling and it never didn't work out, it always led me to something more happy, more good, more exciting, more in alignment with what I wanted and what I felt like I should be doing. So there's absolutely, with certainty, there will be pitfalls along the way. Absolutely. And yes, you have to get back up. Like, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Just like sit there? Like, you have to get back up, okay? You will experience like pitfalls in whether you're an employee or you own your own. You'll experience times that suck, whether you love what you do or not. But it's about finding what you're supposed to do in that moment. Because like, you could change, like I've changed careers a handful of times, but once I got to the point where I'm like listening to my gut and doing things that I know I'm personally gifted at to start, like as a foundation, that's when I'm like moving in the current with what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I can tell you right now, I will never be a school teacher because I can't do it. Like my 4 kids are just maxing me out, and I could never be a mathematician. I could never be. I went to school my first year for engineering. I wanted to kill myself. It was awful. And I was the only female in the entire class. And I was like, get me out of here. I was just bad at it. And so all of those things, like, I know what I shouldn't be doing, and I know what I'm naturally gifted at. So I'm going to lean into that. Yeah, exactly. So finding, like, following the gut check, finding a crew, or at least one person that believes in you, that's, like, here for it, that wants to, like, chat it out with you, that wants to challenge you to go better, and it should be in alignment for, like, those gifts that you have that you know that you're good at, that people are always like, how do you do that? That's so easy for you. And you're like, what, that? Oh, I thought everybody could do it. Like, those different things in life, all the things, like, you're really good at managing people and talking to people and lifting people up. That's so important, and it turns out, for photography, for making women relax behind the camera, for making it fun.
Well, that's the whole thing that I always say to everybody too, is like, this is an experience, and it's also a day of connection.
Yeah.
And so when you're coming in, you know, the beautiful photos are just the cherry on top. That's not necessarily what this is. I mean, yes, you're going to get beautiful, high quality photos, and you're going to feel like yourself, and you're going to feel gorgeous in the end of this, but, like, it's also this emotional connection that happens with these women. And that's why showing up in this way feels so different than it did for any of the other genres that I had shot. Like, you know, newborn photography is absolutely beautiful, and giving that gift to people made my heart so happy, right? But this feels different. This feels different. I can't explain it.
It's more Andrea all the way around.
It's totally, first of all, it is definitely more me, but it's also this feeling of, like, right, when I'm shooting these women and they're looking at me and I can see them through my camera lens, like, there's a moment where they let loose. There's a moment where they become themselves. There's a moment where they show themselves to me. And when that moment happens, they know, because I scream, I yell, I go crazy.
You do. You're like, got it, I got it.
Oh, boy. Yes. Like, I get so excited because you can see it in their eyes.
Yeah.
And that I've never experienced with any other genre.
Right.
I've never experienced that with any other genre, where literally you see somebody unfolding, transforming while you're shooting.
Coming into who they are behind.
And I think that's the happiness level that comes with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you know it's more than just a picture.
Yeah, it is. It's so weird to say that, because it's like you can
sounds so
pictures.
Cliche and cheesy.
I know, but, like,
it's more than a picture.
It is, though. I'm gonna tell you why it is, though.
But it is just a picture.
It's just a picture.
But there's emotions.
Listen, I've known you since we were, what, like 13?
Yeah.
Okay, so
the awkward stage.
Oh, and our awkward stages were
so awkward.
Oh my gosh, we should totally do
like
a side by side. Let's do it. Okay, please in the comments, guys. Please let me know.
Side by side.
Please let me know if you guys want a Sandria, like current picture of me and Andrea, underneath or above a picture of our 13-year-old
softball, maybe photo.
Maybe, do you want that? Do you want that? You don't want
that's
that.
Coming.
Do you want that?
That's coming in the quotes, like right underneath in the comments. That's going to be there. Don't worry about it.
It's hideous. Brace yourself for your answer. Like, if you are willing to say yes, I want that, you better be careful what you wish for.
Yes.
Have some Tums, Pepto-Bismol at the ready. Have a bucket and a mop. A bucket and a mop.
But we were cute.
No, we weren't.
Cute.
We were sweet.
We're
and
evolving.
Funny. We were going through it. We were just coming into our own. Listen, it's a rite of passage to be hideous.
We're so off topic. This is why we're not allowed to play together without a script.
I don't do scripts. I can't.
I need like a list.
I hit the bullet
points. Then I get lost.
Because
then you talk about stuff like this, and I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Sorry. Okay, but gut check, having community that supports you, and doing what you are naturally gifted with, you'll find the skills along the way, because you can Google anything, honestly.
And then where's your happiness level go?
It goes through the freaking roof, guys. You still have to work. Like, you still have to work. But
work doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work. It feels like I gotta do these things.
That's what I say all the time.
I just gotta do things, but, like, I can't wait to do those things. And whereas it's like, oh, I gotta go to work. It doesn't, I never say I gotta go to work. I'm like, I gotta head to the office. My kids, here's the difference for me. My kids will come home, or I'll come home and I'll see my kids. My old life in corporate, I would come home and they'd be like, how's your day, Mom? And eventually, I would always be like, oh, so busy. And eventually, my son broke my heart one day when he was like 8. He was like, let me guess, so busy. And I was like, oh, I'm conditioning him to hate work. Yeah. No, I just need to find something I love and respond that way. So now when I come home, my kids are like, how's your day? And I was like, oh, and they're like, who'd you help? And I'm like, yes. That's like, Cameron will be like, was it good? It was so good, right? She's like, did you do a live? And I'm like, So she'll ask me to like replay the live, or the kids will get into it. And
kids
and
like to look at the pictures. Yeah.
And so now they have a happy mom.
Did you take that picture of her? That's pretty, Mom.
Yeah, like she did yesterday. Like Andrea's kids were in this, or 2 days ago, Andrea's kids were in the studio, and she was showing us a shot of a woman that was going to come in and look at her reveal, and her daughter looks up at the screen. She's 10, right? And she was like, oh, that's really pretty. And I was like,
she's going to like that, Mommy. That's what they always say.
I was like, aren't her eyes pretty? And she goes, they're really pretty. I was like, oh yeah, women supporting women. Hashtag trending. Oh gosh, I love it. She's 10. She's learning from the best. It's amazing. So anyway, so that girl's going to grow up doing what she loves. I know it. I already know. Who's that?
See, Courtney called me bossy.
Courtney!
I have to be bossy because I know the type of photo that I'm looking for from a woman. She is alluding to the fact that when a woman comes into the studio, that I am bossy and I tell them what to do. But yeah, that's the best part. You don't know what to do.
No, you don't. Listen,
nobody knows what to do. I'm gonna tell you what to do.
God.
And guess what?
Thank God you're telling me.
And
what
like
to
I
do.
said, you're building upon your skills. Like there's things along the way that you've brought with you that make you who you are. Being a kindergarten teacher is the most fundamental building blocks of telling somebody how to do something and teaching
Sit down.
kids how to do something. No, so like I scale back.
Yeah.
I scale way back when I talk because I'm not talking down to anybody. It's that I sometimes think there's no prior knowledge behind what I'm talking about.
Thank God.
And so because I'm so used to working with little kids in the past, I scale everything back. And I say, well, this is why we do this. I don't just say do this. I say do this because we're going to elongate your neck and we're going to take care of any extra skin that's going to be underneath your chin.
Yeah.
And then you're like, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling me that. I'm going to not only do that today.
You could do this, though.
But I'm going to do that in every selfie. And I'm also going to do that every time I take a picture with a friend.
Yeah, you can do it.
It's not just about the picture.
It's not about the. It's about being like, oh, next time somebody takes a photo of me, I'm not going to do this anymore.
No.
Andrea told me to elongate my neck and do this.
Yes, so push it forward and down.
Of course. Well, of course. So, wait, Sharon says she's not scared of me. That's because Sharon is Mossad, and she can murder anyone in their sleep. She also is an expert at reading body language, and she knows more about me than me. So I'm afraid of her, but I love her. No, I'm serious. She's brilliant.
That says a lot.
Marla just asked for it. She's like, I want the old photos. Marla, you did it. You sealed your fate just now, Marla. It's not going to be cute.
I'm worried for everybody.
I blame Marla. It's going to get bad quick. So that's what we want you to know, that like waking up every day and enjoying what you do is so possible for you, and maybe it takes you 9 years, R.I.P. But maybe it takes you a month to decide. Maybe it takes you a day to say, I'm done.
Hey, here's the thing.
About it.
On those 9 years, I'll just take a small moment. Because I don't want it to sound like for 9 years I was miserable.
No.
I loved doing newborn photography when newborn photography is what lit me up.
Yeah.
I loved doing weddings when weddings lit me up.
Yeah.
I loved doing maternity, children, photos, all of that when that lit me up. But I just feel like everybody evolves and changes and that you shouldn't be afraid of that. And so part of me, right, like the lie I told myself was, moving forward and doing something different wasn't possible. Not only that, it was probably kind of greedy because I already had success in these areas. And the wedding photography was successful and the newborn photography was successful. And so why are you messing with a good thing?
Don't break it.
Don't break it.
Don't break it.
Take your hands off.
Yeah, easy, lady. Don't get too ambitious.
It's fragile.
You're a girl. So, okay, but
don't get too ambitious.
You're a lady.
You're a lady.
Come on. But okay, so that's the other point before we close is that I see this from entrepreneurs all the time, or people that are trying to become an entrepreneur. What about this? I have this idea too, and I have this idea. That's fine. Those ideas don't go anywhere. But don't do everything at once. Do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
See if you love it, grow it, put your heart into it, do it. And then when you're inspired and moved to evolve, to go to the next level, or to shift, or to do something else, you just can. You can literally wake up one day like I did, go on a Facebook Live and say, I know you guys have heard me talk about health and wellness for like a year, but I have actually been doing business and coaching offline for almost a decade. You're going to hear more about that now. That's what I feel inspired to talk about. Drop me or follow me, but that's what's happening on my page now.
But that's the limiting beliefs, and that's why it's so important to have somebody who's breathing truth and into you.
Yeah.
Because that is what you would say to me. You would challenge me every single time I came to you with a reason of saying like why I couldn't do it. Well, what's more true? Right. That's like my favorite thing that you would say to me. What's more true? What, you're going to try this and it's going to fail? Or maybe it might actually become something and maybe you will be able to do the thing that you've wanted to do, that you've had a desire for. Maybe everybody loves it, and maybe it's something that becomes you and your brand, and all those other things don't need to be a part of it anymore.
And my gosh, you exploded this year.
In a pandemic, which is so
In a
weird.
Pandemic, working half the time that you did before.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's what happens when you come into alignment and do what you love.
I was just going to say, that feels like alignment.
Sharon. It's not so sexy because you have to take responsibility for your days on a new level. Yes, Marla. Yes. And Ivy, hey girl, hey. Yes, Marla, you're right about that. Sharon, you know I love you. Forever and ever. Amen. Forever.
You have a good crew.
We do have a really good crew.
You have a good, supportive, really awesome crew.
They don't like negativity, and I don't either. And they show up for vibes.
Who does?
I thought we were vibing. We are.
I thought we were vibing.
We are vibing.
That's my girlfriend. She's real.
She's from Canada. And I am. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's
then you should watch Storks. Because it's the best kids movie ever.
I swear.
Adult movie.
Underrated AF. Storks. Andy
Storks
Samberg,
is
SNL.
100% my favorite kids movie. And it actually doesn't even need to be a kids movie, just favorite movie.
Period. I don't care if kids are around or not. I
She's
still
from
watch
Canada.
Whoa. Okay. Gotta go, guys. We have work to do. Pretend work. I gotta go to work. Just kidding. I have to do what I love. Anyway, I will, from the time capsule, bring out the most
wretches. Really awe-inspiring.
They'll make you feel good about yourself. They'll make you feel so good about yourself. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
So, we just
all
gotta
about
find
uplifting others.
My stomach hurts from thinking about it, but it's coming. I love you guys.